After 8 hours of continuous rain, this is what the city of Lambayeque in northern Peru looks like. People who live here say their lives have been turned upside down. Forecasters say the rains have been fueled by unusually warm temperatures in the Pacific. The floods are happening months after the country was hit by a severe drought and wildfires. The government has declared a 60-day state of emergency. At least 30,000 homes have been damaged and more than 800,000 people are short of clean drinking water. Snowfall triggered a series of avalanches in central and northeastern provinces of Afghanistan. Snow has buried 2 villages in Bagmatal district. Rescuers recovered at least 50 bodies from one village. They're still trying to reach the other. The minister in charge of disaster management says at least 150 homes have been destroyed. Rescue teams have been sent to help people who are trapped, but efforts are slow because heavy snow is blocking roads. The Afghan government says it's expecting more avalanches over the next 2 days.
In the Uttaranchal area, there's some details coming through. Earthquake measured 5.3 on the Richter scale in Uttaranchal and 5.8 magnitude as per the National Seismological Bureau in the Rudraprayag area of Uttarakhand, and that's why the national capital has also felt the tremors. We are given to understand that for about 15 seconds the tremors lasted across the national capital.
Flash flooding is causing chaos in the north tonight and there's more trouble on the way. Sherry Lee Biggs has the details, and Sherry, residents are being told to brace for damaging winds and more torrential rains.
Destructive winds and a relentless downpour. Pilbara roads have turned into dangerously fast-flowing rivers. Suburban streets becoming floodways. Tomorrow, gale force winds and heavy rain more than 100 millimetres are expected to lash the Kimberley coast and Pilbara, but the tropical low isn't expected to turn into a cyclone. Strong currents have cut off remote communities. Motorists are stranded. Authorities frustrated their warnings are being ignored. Meanwhile, a powerful storm has hit Sydney. A month's worth of rainfall flooded streets in just 3 hours. Parts of the city have been brought to a standstill, damaging cars and homes.
Fox News alert on a day when a huge weather system is moving through the south and all the way up to the east coast. There are reports of at least one tornado touching down in the East New Orleans area. There are reports of casualties as well, and in fact there are photos of twin twisters.
Video from the New Orleans East Hospital that appears to be a tornado. Oh my gosh, that doesn't appear. That is a tornado. There it is. This is the tornado that moved over New Orleans East. Exactly. You expect to see this in the Central Plains. You don't expect to see this. There's that tornado. This is in Madisonville. You can see first the funnel, and then you can see the dam. Oh my gosh, you can see that damage with debris flying in the air.
She said her dog was home alone. You can see the walls of her home have been ripped off. There's a heavy amount of damage here on Redwood Street. And you can see that some houses were completely untouched, very minimal damage.
Good evening. Perth has been hit by a once-in-a-century weather event, bringing the second wettest day on record. Tonight it's also triggered an evacuation alert to our northeast. The city was drenched by more than 100 millimetres of rain in 24 hours, flooding roads and homes and causing traffic chaos. Tonight there's a developing emergency in Northam, where the Avon River is in danger of bursting its banks and flooding homes. An urgent flood alert is also out for the Swan River tonight, with levels expected to rise rapidly in the coming 24 hours. It's on the back of those record-breaking rains that washed out homes, flooded roads and put cars underwater across the city.
A series of landslides have killed at least 12 people on the Indonesian island of Bali. Torrential rain swept through the area, burying homes and villages. Heavy rainfall is expected to continue through the weekend. The National Disaster Agency says people have been evacuated and others have been warned to stay away.
reports are still coming in, but we know that at least 6 people have lost their lives and more than 100 people have been injured following an earthquake in the Philippines. Now, this was a 6.5 magnitude earthquake that happened shortly after 10 p.m.
Issuing of an official catastrophic warning for New South Wales residents. The rural fire chief this afternoon saying, quote, "You will not outrun these fires. These are the worst possible conditions." This came after we hit record temperatures of 46.9 in Penrith and 46.8 in Richmond. But regionally, bushfires are the grave concern. 49 of them are currently burning across the state. 17 are out of control. The regions highlighted in red there are facing, as we said, catastrophic conditions within hours. The Rural Fire Service further warning people there, if you're caught out in the open, you're likely to die.
At Orange, in 40-degree heat, firefighters battle a blaze in a wrecking yard, trying quickly to stop it spreading, as here and across New South Wales, thousands more are on standby, preparing for the unprecedented.
It's not another bad fire weather day. This is as bad as it gets.
For the first time in 4 years, parts of the state face a catastrophic fire danger, with several hours of blasting hot winds forecast.
Good evening. There are new developments in WA's flood crisis, with losses climbing into the millions. Huge sections of the state, from the Kimberley to the Great Southern, have been declared a natural disaster zone. The floods have hit farmers hard. Some, including grape growers, have lost an entire harvest, much of it still underwater.
Overnight, at least 2 people are dead in a powerful storm that's battering central and southern California. In some places, as much as 8 inches of rain fell in less than 24 hours, triggering mudslides and flooding several roads and highways. Flood watches and warnings are up in many places. High winds have brought down trees and power lines, leaving tens of thousands of people without power for a time.
In Mozambique, a tropical cyclone that hit the eastern coast on Wednesday has killed 7 people, raising the death toll from 4 people earlier this week. The storm has brought heavy rains and winds of up to 160 kilometers an hour, raising the risk of flooding and crop damage in the southern African country. According to a statement released by Mozambique's Emergency Operational Center, about 130,000 people living in the Inhambane province, which is 500 kilometers north of the capital Maputo.
New details about that powerful storm now, battering parts of the south, including a possible tornado touching down in Texas. The damage is evident. Casey Stiegel's on that live in our newsroom in Dallas. And what happened there, Casey?
Well, Bill, the National Weather Service is telling us that it was a possible tornado that touched down not only in one part of San Antonio, but in and around various parts of the city. Happened in the overnight hours. We know that's dangerous while many people are sleeping. Emergency officials say more than 150 homes have been damaged, but so far no reports of any serious injuries. This, as record rain also hammered the area, causing some flooding issues. So as you can imagine, first responders have their hands full.
The worst hit area was literally on fire just a week ago. Now some 19 people are missing and feared dead because of the sudden floods in the mountains, where thousands of tourists were camping out on the last weekend of the summer holidays here.